G'day Jackednnerdy fans, Jeremy here with a review video for Avatar: The Way of Water. Before I jump into that review, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you do enjoy our content, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. That lets us know that you guys like the videos that we're putting out there and encourages us to keep going. Also, if you are interested in more content, you can always check out our Instagram. It is at Jackednnerdy. It's exact same as the YouTube channel. So feel free to check us out at Jackednnerdy on Instagram. Now, with that out of the way, this is going to be a non-spoiler review of James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of Water. So if you saw my initial reaction video, it was very, very late when I got out of the cinema. It was about 12:30, nearing 1 o'clock this morning by the time I got out of the theatre. And look, my initial reaction was a bit on, very much, on par. The fact is, this is a very, very long movie. It's just over 3 hours, about 3.25 hours. Which, as I said in my other video, when it comes to Avatar, you've probably got to expect that because the first movie was 3 hours. Why should this one be any shorter? Now, I really feel, though, with this movie, that was a real... Personally, I feel it was a detriment to the movie being that long. You really could have cut a solid hour off of it and compacted it down to 2 hours, and it still would have been fine. I mean, the runtime is one of my issues with this film, and I do have many issues with this film. Definitely the fact that you've got to carve out over 3 hours of your day to see this film is a big problem for me, because I just don't have 3 hours that I can waste most days on sitting down and watching a movie. So I do think the runtime is a big issue with this film. Another issue that I have with this film is so every screening at the moment is in 3D. There are no 2D screenings. I did not feel that 3D was an advantage to this film. It looked good. It looked fine in 3D. It looked fine, but I don't. It was nothing major. I think it would have looked just as good, if not maybe better, in 2D. So I wasn't impressed with the 3D. Also, I found, and this may be because of the 3D, I don't know, I would have to check out certain scenes in 2D to be sure, but quite often I found the visual effects to look a lot like a cutscene out of a video game rather than a real life environment. Or a movie. I found some of the visuals to be not quite up to standard. And yeah, I felt very much like I was just watching some sort of animated cutscene out of a video game rather than a feature movie. I mean, the thing is, I suppose with Avatar being what it is, it's supposed to be some sort of spectacle of visual effects, that they set the bar, I suppose, 20 years ago in being this new way of filming using the very best in visual effects, or I think James Cameron takes pride in saying that he developed brand new technology specifically for the filming of this, which, okay, yeah, in some aspects, yeah, sure, no worries, but I just, look, for the majority of the film, it's fine, but there are certain points in the film where it just doesn't land for me, and that's just my opinion. Moving on from that, the story, it was fine. It was fine. It was nothing special. The overall story, I found that there were quite a few plot points that never amounted to anything. There were events that happened that you think, oh, okay, this is gonna come into play later on, or there's going to be some sort of big reveal later in the film or at the end that's going to link back to this event, and just nothing happens. So there are lots of references and plot points, and even some characters. There are some characters in this film who annoy the shit out of me. One human character in particular, where you think, 1 minute they're one way, and then the next minute they're doing the complete opposite, or doing things that are to the detriment of what they're supposed to be, and you have no understanding as to why they're doing what they're doing. And then they just seem to be very wishy-washy and go back and forth, like that's thing. So yeah, there were certain plot points, story, moments in the story and characters that just fell flat, or did not amount to anything, or they didn't take enough time to explain why they're doing what they're doing, and you're just left to kind of wonder what was the point, or why, or what have you. So there was that. The other big thing is there's no resolution at the end of the movie, as far as I'm concerned. And look, I may have missed something, but as far as I'm concerned, the point of a story is that at the beginning of the movies, the characters are in one place, and by the conclusion of the movie, they're at another point, in another place, or at another point, or there's some sort of, resolution, or development, or what have you. As far as I'm concerned, at the end of this movie, they're essentially in the exact same place, or the exact same position that they were at the beginning of the film. And apart from one or two things, nothing's really changed. There's no resolution. No resolution whatsoever to the story by the end of it. Now, I understand they're planning on making, I think, 5 of these fucking things. To be honest, after this one, I think I'm done. Maybe I'll see the next one. I don't know. It depends on what you guys say. I'll take my cues from you guys in the audience, but I mean, if I do see the next one, or if I don't, it makes no difference to me, I think, in the end. Because, like I said, there was no resolution to this, and I feel that there should have been at least some sort of resolution, because I know they're planning on making more movies, but what happens if the studio pulls the plug and they don't ever make another one? Then the sequel amounts to nothing, and there's no conclusion or resolution, and the whole story's just left hanging. Really, they should have made some sort of resolution to close off this film, so that if they want to make a sequel, they still can. However, if they don't make a sequel, that's perfectly fine. Everything's tailed off, and there's no issues. Again, that's just my opinion. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, alright. what was the whole point between the whole point of the last 3 hours? You know, so that was my thoughts on that. Also, I suppose if you saw my initial reaction video, one positive thing, it was nice to see some of these actors back again. I'm a big Sam Worthington fan. Same with I think Nathan Lang, who played the Colonel or whoever in the first one. He's back again. Spoiler alert. But I mean, if you've been paying attention to the trailers and to everything else, you would know that already. So, you know, Sigourney Weaver, obviously, a little bit here and there. So it was nice to see some of these original characters back again, and the actors and actresses and what have you. But I mean, yeah, look, like I said, I think that there were, as far as I'm concerned, there were more cons than pros with this film. It was a very, very expensive film to make, and honestly, I just don't see the point. You know, I suppose if they had made this film, so let's say the original one came out roughly 20 years ago. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it was exactly 20 years ago that the first one came out. If they had made this film straight after, and, you know, released it 2 to 3 years after the first one, I don't think it wouldn't have been as bad, because then obviously they could then make another one straight after that, and another one straight after that, and they could make a franchise out of it and tell a much larger story. But again, I think because it's been 20 odd years since the first one come out, for me personally, I've just lost all interest in it. The story and the visuals and everything else, it's all lost its luster with me. You know, it's I just found myself just really not interested. You know, yeah, because I don't, like I said, I don't want to go into spoilers, but basically, yeah, look, if this movie had come out 18 years ago, straight after the first one, while there was still a lot of hype, then maybe I would be thinking differently, you know, and what have you. But I definitely think because it's taken 20 years to make this film, just the interest and the motivation and everything is gone, you know. You know, and like I said, there are lots of plot points and various different things that just didn't hit with me. So look, I'm going to leave it at that. So really, to be honest, I'm going to give this movie maybe a 4 or even a 5 out of 10, personally. Like I said, you know, visually, yeah, it was alright. The acting, yeah, it was okay. You know, nice to see the actors again. Honestly, though, did not see the point in them making this film. You know, like the first one ended with a conclusion. The Na'vi won. They sent the humans home. You know, they won the war. They sent the humans home. Everyone can live in peace and harmony. Ta-da! Conclusion. At the end of this movie, zero conclusion. They're still in the exact same position that they were right at the beginning of this film. That annoys the shit out of me. All these little things that they set up throughout the movie, nothing came of them. You know, they were pointless. There was no reason to include them. You know, particular characters that I suppose were supposed to play some sort of flow through plot point just annoyed the shit out of me, and they didn't spend enough time developing them and explaining why they're doing what they're doing or what have you. You know, and yeah, just a lot of things just did not make sense to me. So look, I think, to be honest, if this was James Cameron's best effort, then, you know, okay. But if it wasn't, he definitely half-assed it. And that was a big multi-million-dollar waste of time. But that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments section below if you've seen Avatar: The Way of Water. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I would like to know people's thoughts on this film. For me personally, it was a big miss. It was a swing. It was a big swing, but it was definitely a big miss as well. So this film will definitely not be in my top 5 for the year. Hands down, will not be in my top 5. But again, I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. Stay tuned to the channel. We got lots coming up over the coming weeks. Obviously heading into Christmas, but more specifically heading into the new year. We've got lots of films coming out in the new year. We've got lots of action figures coming out over the coming month or so. We've got plenty of mystery box videos that Mrs. Jackednnerdy has been busy doing. So stay tuned to the channel. We got heaps of content coming out over the coming weeks. Also, hit us up in the comments section below if there's something specific that you would like to see us do. We're always open to feedback, and we do read the comments, so let us know. And as I said before, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, guys, stay jacked and stay nerdy.